I do work with alterations and additions, but mostly they're going to have an architect involved or a builder. And often, again, I even just approach it in the same way I did this project. It's like, let's just get it modeled. Let's just see where you're sitting. Let's make we're going to have to make some assumptions somewhere, but let's just see where you're at and let's see where we can go. And let's just engage with that process and explore. Really is sort of what I say to my clients as well. You can apply the same thing to an existing home. Yep.
G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Build Insite podcast. This is part 2 of episode 39 with our chat with Ben Walsham of Arkata. If you missed last week's episode, make sure you head back and have a listen to part 1. Otherwise, enjoy part 2 as we wrap up this epic conversation.
That's actually a great segue, mate, because the project we've just been working on back end of documentation. So it came to you a number of months ago now. So we've got a high performance passive solar design in the cold climate, and we were looking to just really tune up some areas there. The clients weren't wanting to go down Passive House Road. They've kind of been really invested in going to a lot of open days and working with design to see where they're comfortable. So one of the big sticking points was the slab, and from my education and knowledge inside more passive house concepts and so forth, to fully insulate the slab, we costed the project to fully insulate the slab. Couldn't decouple the slab just due to the ground, and the engineering couldn't allow it. So we were looking at doing an infill slab or a burnished concrete slab, and did the pricing. We spoke through that and came back with the report findings, and let's talk about that a little bit, because I know there were some things in there, even from my kind of experience, I was just a little bit blown away. And the 2050 improvement to the performance of that slab, it actually got better over time to the point where I think we're like a 9.8 stars.
It was,
and it was 10 stars in 2050, just due to that aging of slab.
Wow.
Yeah, that was an awesome process, because even I was surprised by the results as well. Modeled it in both Hero and First Rate 5, which are two softwares, so they were basically the same. So I think...
Sorry, mate, are they just two different options?
No, so they're two softwares that you can use for getting a star rating. So there's 5 different softwares that you can use for star rating. I personally use Hero because
okay, so they all achieve the same thing. It's just a different...
That's right. Different ways, different brands,
gotcha.
Different ways of doing it. They have different interfaces, different sort of approaches to how you then model the home. So I put a bit of time into researching that one. Essentially, you were proposing almost a waffle pod slab, and then XPS on top of the waffle pod, then another slab on top, then more XPS on top.
No, it was
From
just
memory? No, it was the other way around, wasn't it?
We were looking at a waffle pod slab, cost point of view, and then pouring that structural slab, XPS, continuous insulation, and then an infill.
That's right.
Infill slab to create that.
So waffle pod,
finish.
structural slab, XPS,
and then
burnish
infill,
finish.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, I think, even on site as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was due to the ground conditions and the block. We just were not able to get a decoupled slab through. Obviously, we've done that before with just doing the footings, and probably a lot of people have seen it on the socials and stuff. But doing your things and then fully insulating it and then putting your structural slab over.
I remember you explaining that slab to me. I was just, oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like a beefy slab.
You do have to think outside the box sometimes.
It's great, right?
This is where the process worked. Yeah.
Yeah, so we ran the calculations, again, exploratively. And we were just exploring different options. How do we run this through? And the performance degradation of going to just a waffle pod slab, structural finish, and leaving it was pretty minor. You drop maybe 0.2 of a star, I think.
Yeah.
But then when you account for the air tightness you're going for, and you account for even just that part, it was the difference was like 0.1 of a star. It was negligible, and you were at 10 stars and 9.9. I mean, like in reality, is it like you're not going to really feel that difference, right? Because you've already sealed the building so well. You've got great northern light, 10 stars to 9.9 stars. No,
probably the biggest difference you might feel is your wallet might not be quite as empty.
Yeah, we were talking. We were talking. Nothing less than 30 grand. It was off the top of my head. It might have been pushing up to 40 grand.
So the price difference.
So, yeah,
that's phenomenal.
So I was just like, when you told me that, and I was just like, you're going from like almost, can't remember the exact numbers. I think it was 10 stars, even in both options. It's like going from 10 stars to 9.9 stars, and you're saving potentially 40K. Like, oh my, what a story that is! Like, that's so good. Yeah. Like, it's just incredible.
And the thing is, like, I know there's probably going to be people out there, cringing, going, oh yeah, but what about thermal bridging and so forth? Like, this house is designed for solar gains, and there's like internal masonry walls, and this is the direction there. And for all other matters, it's we went right through the glazing, the type of windows, even the color of concrete to sort of see where we'd be. So it was a really for myself as a builder, I would talk collaboration, but that's it in its like purest form. Kind of both learning as we go, and clients ecstatic with the information they've been presented.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that one, even the future performance really helped us understand the performance of these two slabs as well, because I think with the thicker original version, performance in the future in potentially these worst case scenario sort of climates was worse than going with a slightly less intensive slab. And I think is really critical, because none of us really know what the future is going to hold for us as a society. And so having a resilient home as a refuge, I think, is just like such a good thing to have. And, we talk about generational homes as well. And this home can be passed down in the future, and it's not going to cost them thousands of dollars to cool every year. I think that's just like incredible. So the outcomes there were just amazing.
Yeah, for the clients as well, we talk forever homes, but this is their final, just hit retirement years, and they're going to be able to prolong health conditions and so forth. This home is actually performed right through from HRV, the air tightness, and just living, which we both found a really rewarding analysis. And just, I suppose one more thing on there, Ben, I can't quite recall, but there was the option of actually removing the full XPS. Actually helped with the heating and cooling loads, with the performance of the home as an entirety, which was one thing we were able to take on board as well, that what was going to be required for the heating and cooling demands as well.
Yeah, I think we overlaid that decision with air tightness that you were going to go for. Air tightness predominantly influences the heating load. So we can show 0.6 changes an hour. Heating is really not a problem anymore, and cooling is your problem. And so then you overlay the 2050, cooling becomes even worse of a problem, and then heating drops even further. So it's like in this sort of changing environment, then the part of tightness then starts to paint a picture of like, where do we need this insulation and how much? And so I think that was the XPS taking it from between the two slab sandwiches essentially that you had, right? And instead just going to a waffle pod slab.
Yeah, with edge slab.
With edge insulation.
Yeah.
How does, just curious, you've mentioned a couple of times now about, for example, you're kind of at 9.8 stars now, by 2050 it'll be 10. How does it increase? Is it because of the energy that's saved?
For over 130 years, Bowen's has been the builder's choice, providing a service that provides timber, hardware and innovative building products.
And now we're helping you further with this wonderful partnership.
We're proud to announce Bowen's as our new premier sponsor, bringing you more of the insights that you love. Build Insight together with Bowen's.
Real people,
real insights.
Yeah, so the heating and cooling loads and the total loads all change in these different environments. Let's just say you're at 7 stars today.
Yep.
And you've got 50 heating and 25 cooling. Right. In the worst case scenarios climate, what might happen is you actually change those loads. And so your heating load goes down to 25, but your cooling load goes up to 50. And what might happen is that the star rating doesn't. And so in that house, you might drop down to 6.5 stars, and because your total loads have gone up. And so that's where the shifting loads over that future really start to play out. And that's where knowing what those are, just in a predictive sense, can really start to shape the decisions we make today. And I think that's like how we worked through that one, was overlaying the airtightness and then overlaying sort of future performance to sort of help us really provide a value to these things. And it's like, okay, we could spend 40 grand and have this really incredible structure that's never going to move for ages. Yeah. But like, hey, when we weigh it up against this option and we look at these other variables, actually there's not much difference, and you could potentially save 40k on
I think it's a really good story to actually highlight that just adding more and building bigger and bigger and thicker isn't always better. If that's not a story that encourages someone that they should be collaborating with the right consultants early in their project, like, I mean, that's probably a rare case that you'll save on one element such as the slab, that you'll save potentially 40 grand. That's one hell of a story to encourage that process.
Yeah, it's a great story, and thanks for bringing it up, because it's do some more marketing on that. But
we haven't got started on that one yet, mate. So watch the space.
The other one as well is embodied carbon. They're like huge saving in embodied carbon. Like that home is going to be really quite quick to pay off now.
Yeah.
Whereas with the other option, potentially that's an unpaid backable, if that's a word, like a carbon number as well. And so that's another part of the story that is potentially coming as well. You know, big businesses over, was it $500 million revenue, have to now report carbon to government. And so see that trickle down to all of us, and HERS assessors are going to be the people that will likely be the ones to account carbon. And so because we already have all the square meterages and areas and volumes, and that's another critical piece.
Might be you in a few years, Dino. 500 mil, you have to be reporting back.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that, mate. That'd be nice. But it's funny, you know, what were you doing 25 years ago, mate? Imagine if we could assess ourselves 25 years in advance and know that we're going to be actually performing better. It'd be nice as we age.
Wouldn't it? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
That's been the key thing, Ben, which was exciting there. It wasn't just a one-pronged, as we refer back to the old saying that energy efficiency and star rating is just ticking a box. Yes, we needed that, and we've gone through that avenue, and that's getting finalised. But yeah, we're talking comfort of the home, the benefit and health to the occupants, how that home is going to perform. Yes, we could go and do more that costs more, but then there was the whole afterlife conversation and reducing our carbon footprint about, well, if we've got a whole nother layer of XPS insulation sandwiched in there, like there's no, at the current time, there's no real post-treatment of that. That's just waste. In this home lasts 50 years, 100. We always say we want to build a house to live for 100 years. But reality is like we've really thought about that whole benefit for every piece of that property.
Yeah, that's just the benefit of having that collaboration, but also delivery on site as well. I think that's critical. You talk about thermal bridging. I just did thermal bridging in Passive House, and you're a builder that will be conscious of thermal bridges, and anything that's there will be sort of detailed out and covered, right? So there is definitely that component of then being able to deliver it on site and deliver it effectively without these sort of other concerns. So it's about tying together that sort of pre-design, design phase, and then the construction phase, and really starting to get alignment on that.
Yep.
That's, I think, the critical piece.
And it's probably important to say, like, it's not like Ben and myself here between backing builders and Arkata have just gone, we've designed the slab, we've designed the house. Like there is the engineers and the
totally,
designers
absolutely.
Well, so.
And like that, you came to me with like an incredibly passive solar design home that was perfect for the client's needs. Minimal south glazing, minimal west glazing. There was a bit of east glazing, but I don't mind that. Lots of north glass, and I think that again that played into the whole okay, well, this house potentially could be overheating throughout the year because of the thickened slab structure that you've got. And then if we fast forward to 2050, it's definitely overheating. And so that's where those things can play a role. And yeah, your engineer's like, I'm not budging on the decoupled slab. Like, you can't have it. So it's like, okay, well, what solutions can we come up with that then bridges the gap between those people? Yeah.
And we did design out a exposed masonry wall that showing too much thermal mass.
Yeah, that one.
Base,
that one didn't perform very good. And when we switched it over to an insulated stud wall, it was like, bang, you got almost 0.2 of a star there, but just in one wall. And I was like, cool. So
getting early is the point of the story.
Dino, so I rocked up to site last week, got scratch bench tops, paint all over the windows.
Let me guess, Lukey. No goop?
No goop. And now we're spending big bucks trying to fix it.
Mate, Goop Guys roll on a thick, peelable, protective coating that saves your surfaces.
And your budget.
And your sanity, Lukey.
Seriously, check them out. goopguys.com.au. Protect your job from the start.
Hey, let's switch conversation here. And obviously this year you've made the big move from Adelaide to Melbourne. We bumped into each other at a Sustainable Builders Alliance function earlier in the year that... we're smiling ear to ear like we do all the time. You were pretty pumped. Just a new opportunity in the Melbourne landscape.
Yeah.
Loving it so far.
Oh, I love it here. It's so good. It was so
Careful. No
so
offense to
worth
Adelaide
it.
here.
Pardon?
I said be careful. No offense to Adelaide here.
No, Adelaide's an amazing place. It was
Did you grow up in Adelaide?
So I'm English. I was born in England and I moved to Adelaide when I was 10. So I grew up in Adelaide, more or less, and spent most of my life there. It was just time for a change. So I run my own business. I can kind of work wherever. You know, one of my clients jokingly said to me, Ben, if you went to, what do you say, like Barbados, you could like go and work in Barbados and I wouldn't even know. And I'm like, okay, noted, like mental note on that one. But no, it's been so fun. I love it here. It's great.
Yeah.
So
Straight into Brunswick lifestyle.
Straight into the Brunswick lifestyle. Yeah.
Is there equivalent to a Brunswick in Adelaide? Our listeners haven't been to Brunswick.
Maybe like maybe like a Prospect or something like that. Maybe Prospect, but Prospect's beautiful. I love Prospect. It was just time for a change, like personal life. I mean, the business, it wasn't really the reason I moved over. It was just more like, no, I just need a change. Yeah, lifestyle, I need a change.
Yep.
I don't have a car. Like I sold my car, so I'm just like public transport now. We'll see how long that lasts, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. So
Brunswick's just kind of like the town of good vibes only. You know,
Okay.
it's just a chilled suburb.
Prospects. And I've also met someone, so shout out to she's amazing.
There you go.
So
All right.
it's all worked out.
Yeah. So you just say, sorry, family, I'm not coming back.
No, I'll see you for Christmas.
He set roots in Brunswick.
Ben, maybe let's shift over. Obviously, there's a lot of the conversation so far, and using the example of the project you two have got together is, and this is me assuming here, that's a new home.
Yeah.
There's a huge demand for people wanting to retrofit their existing homes and make them perform a lot better as well. I guess probably a lot of people are thinking, well, I've got all these existing resources. Why do I need someone like Ben? What can you say to that, mate? How can your services, or what approach should people be taking to just do better with what they've already got?
You could so I do work with alterations and additions, but mostly they're going to have an architect involved, or a builder. And often, again, I even just approach it in the same way I did this project. It's like, let's just get it modeled. Let's just see where you're sitting. Let's make some, we're going to have to make some assumptions somewhere, but let's just see where you're at and let's see where we can go. And let's just engage with that process and explore, really is sort of what I say to my clients as well. You can apply the same thing to an existing home. Yep. The crux comes in when you consider just how much you can do and what can you. Actually, I've got one currently that I'm working on, and I put some XPS or EPS on the outside of this 300mm stone wall that's existing, and reduce the total load by 30%. Huge change. It's like the biggest change that is there. Even replacing the glass or like double glazed timber glass didn't actually make any difference, right? Okay. So that's again where these explorations come in. But architect and the client, I haven't presented this to them yet. It's unlikely that they're going to be sticking EPS onto the outside of this building because it's a heritage thing from. I don't know if this is the case, but it's possibly heritage listed. And so it's just never going to happen. And that is the biggest change you can make. So yeah, it's all about exploring the numbers and just seeing what's up.
How deep does it go when you assess something like those in that example of just changing the glazing from single to double glazed? Does it take into account, like, do you need the data from the window supplier for like the airtightness performance of the window as well? Or is it only taking into
type
account
of frames?
Yeah, types of frames.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can get a double glazed unit, put whatever film or whatever gas or whatever in it, and that DGU can perform amazing. But if you've got a horrible frame, does it actually take that into account, or is it only focused on the glazing?
Are you referring to like the existing windows that are in a building, or are you just talking any windows?
Probably maybe in a retrofit as opposed to in a new home as well.
Under NatHERS, you have the connection with the WERS database, which is the way windows are certified here in Australia and tested. And when I select a window, it includes everything.
Gotcha.
So the window frame, the ceiling, the glass itself, the tinting as well. So I specify essentially a U value and an SHGC. And those numbers are going to vary between manufacturer. They're going to vary between then even the sizing of the windows as well. Sometimes you might have a custom window that comes in a unique size that then changes how the values and SHGCs work. So in those explorations, I generally try to stick with the defaults that NatHERS give us because that gives us the most flexibility. It then allows you as a builder to then go away and get source quotes from various places and make sure that the new values they can deliver can actually be done.
That is really important to touch on, I suppose. Actually, that's where it comes back to the builder, making sure that you're reading the documentation and you're not just going out and buying the cheapest window. You need to make sure you understand that data to buy the right window that's actually properly been assessed into it.
That's right.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people have absolutely no idea about.
Yeah, U values, you have to give you the little compliance requirements for those to be less than or equal to what I've specified or whoever's specified. So let's say you've got U values of 3, you need to be below that and go and get to.
Yeah, because the window numbers, it's a reverse scale, isn't it? The lower the number.
Correct. The lower, the lower the U value, the better. Then when it comes to SHGC, because that is quite climate specific and house specific, design specific, you need to be within plus or minus 5% of that number. Like if I were to specify 0.6, that's very clear and it's going to allow a lot of heat transfer. You can't then go and put 0.3 in because that's going to be a tinted to. It's going to be shielding their sun
There's
too
a lot
much.
to unpack with glazing, isn't there?
There is a lot to unpack there. So when it comes to sort of how I work, I try to work within the defaults that NatHERS give us. We've got the NatHERS defaults themselves, and then we've got WERSLink, which is the new version. Much better. I prefer to use the WERSLink defaults.
Yep.
But that just allows me to then sort of and test various different frame types, UPVC, timber, all these different types, and then also various value types as well. And within that, then gives the flexibility to the builder, the architect, to then sort of go out and be like, okay, well, these are what we need to achieve. In the marketplace can achieve this for us. Yeah. And it opens the doors. Whereas, the WERS database has Trend, it has Thermatech, or it doesn't have Thermatech, but Replast and a few of these other manufacturers.
The brand of the extrusions.
That's right, the brand of the window themselves. And then if I do that, then you can't use those ones as well. Often, we look at that and make the call if that's who you actually are using, because there's a lot of builders out there who have a specific supplier, so we'll just stick to their numbers. But that was another thing for that project, going back to that one, is when we replaced the default windows with more specific windows that reflected your quote, we went up by 6 of a star, 0.7 of a star. So it's like when you get specificity, like and actually specifying windows themselves, there's a gain there to be had because it's much more accurate in reality as well.
Probably to give context as well, 1 star is a lot, isn't it? Because the jump, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong here, Ben, but going from previous 6-star energy rating to 7, was it something like a 25% increase in efficiency? Or was there a statistic somewhere around? It was a huge jump.
I don't know that number. All I know is that it's a logarithmic sort of relationship. So it does get harder to get higher stars, higher you go up.
Yeah.
That's why exploring alterations and additions in existing homes is so critical, because going from 2.5 stars to 5 stars or 2.5 to 4 is a huge jump, because that is where the scale is sort of most impactful. Like the gains you can have there are huge. But yeah, going from like start to 9 star is good increase, but it's less than the lower numbers. And that's where that cost really starts to come in handy, because where's that sweet spot for that project? A lot of people will say is around 8 stars. So
I think that's the biggest key point to take away from that. Like if you're from the builder side of things and got your key suppliers, is don't just take that guess that this will be all right because this is what I've always used. Like, send it through to your energy assessor and consultant to actually just check it. If it's not going to tick the boxes, then there's plenty of companies out there who are going to meet what you need. That's probably building better in its simplest format, I'd say.
I don't have anything to add on that.
Yeah.
We are absolutely thrilled to announce that Circus Studio are coming on board as a major sponsor and supporter of Build Insight. Circus Studio is Australia's leading interior design centre. If you're an architect, building designer, interior designer, builder, or just looking to build your dream home, you need to make a time and come in and check out the space here in Port Melbourne. This space holds every element that you'll possibly need to design your dream home.
Like, Ben, what's probably the biggest thing you've noticed with all the changes, obviously changing states, covering a fair area of work? When it comes to energy efficiency and seeing that building better environment, what's the biggest thing you're noticing that's, I suppose, the key point?
I'm naturally a very optimistic person, so I think it would be a great time be working in this space and providing these outcomes for clients, because homeowners are becoming a lot more aware, I think, of these things. I've had the joy of apartments looking, hunting, I guess, and rental, sort of going to rentals. And yeah, when you go into those spaces, knowledge you have, you really just see the problems that people face every day. And so, but I'm like optimistic about what we can do. I think like as an industry, we're moving in the right direction. I think lots of companies and educators and people are getting on board and having great conversations. So look, I think we're moving in the right direction. I think the time is right for us to be doing this kind of work, and just enjoying it. So it's good fun.
People like yourself add value over the industry for sure, which is exciting.
What's next for Arkata, mate? You got big plans to expand your team in the future, or you're for now looking at just keeping it small?
That's a great question, because I've thought a lot about this over the last few months. Doing passive house, we'll see how that sort of fits into the business. But I've actually been very happy being like hands-on with my clients and working with people I work with. The people that I work with, it's just like full alignment. It's incredible. And the outcomes that we can get, amazing.
You just enjoy the personal connection.
I just enjoy the personal connection. I enjoy the relationships that I build with people. And to be honest, having a big business, I don't think is for me. I think I really just want to focus on the best consultant that I can be. And this is a pathway of mastery for me as well. It's like, I want to master what I do. I want to be able to provide these outcomes because I really care about the outcomes. And to be honest, like that's where I'm at the moment. So no big plans, just each project is just like bringing me a lot of joy and enjoy it. So
the first design on Mars is underway.
It's like, how do I get onto that trip and start building those homes? Like, that's gonna be so much fun. So
no, mate, that's awesome, mate. We cannot let you escape before we fire off some rapid fire questions at you. Right, mate. Yeah. So yeah, you're almost out of water there too. So we'll put you under a quick bit of pressure. Mate, all right. Lukey, you're all set?
Not really, but let's go.
All right, mate.
We bring this up every time as well, rapid fire. Don't get stuck on your answers. Whatever comes out first,
Just go.
they never stick around.
Let's bad track record with rapid fire. I think when Jess was in, she was like really not firing them out. So shout out to Jess too. But it's all right. What's one small design change architects should make early to significantly boost energy efficiency?
Please minimize your south glass.
Has relocating from Adelaide to Melbourne influenced your business or your approach?
No.
Nice. What's the single most overlooked factor homeowners regret when it comes to energy efficiency when building?
Ooh. What do they regret? Oh. Rapid fire. Can I answer? I don't know. No, I think like maybe missing the information. I think sometimes a lot of homeowners have a lot of trust in builders, and why would you not? They're the ones that are putting it together on site. So trusting your builder, are you going to regret that or not? Do you have the right builder on board? I think it's a big one, right? So it's like that would probably be one that that's come into my mind to begin with, is getting the right team involved and getting the right information, I think is critical. So,
all right, last one. If residential energy efficiency had a mantra, what would Arkata's mantra be?
The mantra of delivering healthy, comfortable, resilient homes. That's what I say every day anyway. So that's like the mantra, right? That's what I talk about. It's like, yeah, sustainability is a overused word. It's health, comfort, and resiliency. And when you go and talk to people, do you want to live in a healthy home? It's like, yeah, of course I do. Like, do you want a comfortable home? Yeah, of course I do. Do you want a resilient home? People probably don't quite know what that means. And I think we can get there that it's like, yeah, I do want that as well, right? Just bridging that for that one.
Yeah, nice. Just quickly tell listeners where they can find website.
Of course, yeah. I'm most active on LinkedIn, so you can just meet Ben Walsham. You can find me on there. That's where I'm posting most. I'm on Instagram as well at arkata.au, so arkata.au. And then you can find the website arkata.au. So no .com, just .au.
Just .au.
Yeah, arkata.au. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, plenty more insights coming, mate, because we're, lots of positive stuff to show off with our first project.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to working with you.
Absolutely.
Ongoing,
likewise.
mate.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for having me on here. It's been awesome.
No, thank you, mate.
We appreciate you taking the time to come in. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you want to find out more about Build Insite, head over to the website buildinsite.com.au. Over on the website, you'll find links to previous podcast episodes as well as links to our YouTube channel and Instagram. Quick shout out again. Make sure you head over and check out Ben Walsham. He is an absolute shapeshifter in the industry at the moment, and there's going to be some really exciting things to follow along Ben's journey in the next couple of years. Guys, hope you've enjoyed the episode. We'll catch you on the next one.
We just need to say a massive thank you to our sponsors and supporters. Without them, Build Insite wouldn't be possible. So to Bowens, Circus Studio, Wonderbuild, Goop Guys, Calorie Building, and Backman Builders, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Let's cue the disclaimer. I need to let you know that myself and the Build Insite team are in no way, shape or form qualified to give you personal or specific business advice. We strongly encourage you seek out the use of professionals for products or when you are making personal or business decisions. Everything discussed during the Build Insite podcast is our own and the guest opinion and personal experience and is of a general nature only. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.